it's Laura here. Welcome to America Reads Fun Learning Activities. Some of our fun activities focus on different topics such as science, history, health, and even arts. And for this week, we're going to be learning about each different part of STEM. But first, let's guess what part exactly of STEM we are going to be learning about for today. And before you guys guess, let me give you a few hints by learning some new vocab for today. Okay, so for our first vocab word, we have velocity. And what velocity is basically the speed of an object plus its direction. So a good example of this is think of all the times you've ever been outside and you played a good old-fashioned game of baseball with your friends, right? And you guys are throwing the ball to each other. Well, in that scenario, you have to ask yourself the question of, well, how fast am I throwing the ball? And in which direction am I throwing the ball to? That would be different types of questions asking about velocity. And then that leads us to our second vocab word called acceleration. And acceleration is you're basically changing the rate of velocity over time. So what that looks like is think of all the times you've ever been inside a car before, or you're watching your parents drive and you notice how their feet is pressing on the gas pedal a little bit over time. Well, they're basically changing the rate or speed of velocity, and that's what you call acceleration. And then our third vocab word is called force. And what force looks like is think of two objects interacting with each other. They're either pushing or pulling on each other. So what that kind of looks like is think of all the times that you've ever played inside the house with your siblings or your friends, and you guys are like running into the room, and then one of you guys, you guys close the door and you're holding it closed, and then the other person is trying to push it open, and you guys are just messing around. Well, that's a good example of force because you two are both different types of objects pushing or pulling on another object. Our fourth vocab word is called circular motion. And circular motion means it's when an object is moving along its circumference of a circle or rotation in a circular path. So for example, let me ask you guys a question. Have you guys ever been to Arizona State Fair before? Well, if you haven't, if you've been to any other type of fair, you would know that they have their own different type of Ferris wheels. And Ferris wheels actually move in the same circular motion because it's moving along its own circumference as a circle or rotation. And then that leads us to our fifth and final vocab word called centripetal force. And centripetal force is a little bit more tricky to understand, but what it means is whenever a force is moving upon an object that's moving in a circular rotation and controlling its center of gravity. So what that looks like is think of outer space and how our Earth is being controlled by the sun. That's called centripetal force because the sun is actually controlling the orbital rotation of Earth in a circle. And we will learn more about that in the reflection. Did you guys guess what we're going to learn about for today? Ooh, that's a nice guess. Yeah, exactly. We're going to be learning about science in the physics world. And to be more specific, we're going to learn how to create our own circular motion activity. So now let's head to Evan and see their amazing activity and see what that's going to look like.
Hey guys, Evan here. Now, let me tell you what we're going to need for this awesome physics-based STEM activity. First, you're going to need yourself a paper bowl. Then you're going to need yourself some string with some pretty good length on it. Then you're going to need yourself a cup, and you're going to need water later. I don't got water right now. And then our materials to make this: scissors and a marker of some sort. Now let's get into it. Alright, so let's get started with our experiment / activity. So what we're going to first need is to mark our bowl, and we're going to need to mark it with 4 dots. So one right here, and then right below it, another one right there. And then if we move 90 degrees, we can do one right here, and then one right below it. So now you're going to need a adult's help. For this, we're going to need to put some holes in it. So grab your nearest adult and put some holes in your bowl. There's one. And 2. Now this activity that we're doing, we're actually going to be able to almost eliminate gravity. I know it sounds crazy, but just wait till you see. Oops. It's all good though. So we got some of our holes. Oh, make that one a little bit better. That one good. This one good. This one good. So now we're going to take our string and we're going to put it just right through here. And then our next hole, we're going to bring it on up. So now you probably did learn some cool vocab words before this, like centripetal force. And we're going to see some centripetal force when we do this activity once this is all built. We're going to spin this whole thing around, which will actually allow our cup that we're later going to fill with water to not spill, even when it's upside down. So then we take this one and we're going to go over into the next hole like this. Put it through. This is actually a lot harder than it looks. I didn't know what I was signing up for. Put it through. Then pull it. And then we have one more that we're going to go under for. Put it right there. Now since I'm actually having trouble, I'm using the scissors to push my string through each hole, and that helps. See, then I can pull it on the other side if you guys do have trouble. So now we have our end right here. So what we can do is we can then take this other end, just tie them together. Do whatever kind of knot you feel like, as long as it will hold. That's my knot right there. I'll do one more for good measure, because this might become high speed. So hold on to your horses. Then we can pull it. And now you're going to make sure. Sorry about that, my camera actually filled up on storage. So where we last left off was we just finished tying it. So you tie it and you're going to have these two things to hold here. And now you're going to want to make sure they're the same height. You see this one right here is longer. So to change it, you just can pull on one of these here and it shortens the other one. And you make sure they're the same. It'll take a little bit. And then we're ready for our next step. Oh hey, I didn't see you there. You must be here for the next part of this activity. So you're going to need to take a cup, then you're going to need to fill with some water. Now not too much water, alright? Now let's grab our contraption. Make sure our strings are the same length. Make sure they're all good. Give it a practice spin. So I'd like to tell you before you start this, be careful because you do not want to spill water anywhere. And when you do a spin, hold it like this, with your fingers like that. And then go back and forth. And then do one spin. Back and forth, another spin, okay? So then we're going to take our water, we're going to set it in here. Alright, you guys all know what happens when you turn water upside down, right? It spills everywhere. So rock it back and forth, and then we're going to do one spin. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. See any water spill? 1, 2, 3. And just like that, you've created zero gravity. I hope you guys enjoyed this activity. Now let's get to Laura for our outro and reflection.
Thanks, Seven. Well, you guys, I hope you had fun with that cool activity. Now that we learned how centripetal force can cancel out gravity, let's reflect a little about what we learned today. So in real life, you can see centripetal force happening just outside our planet. If you look at the Earth has its own force of gravity that is acting upon the moon, causing centripetal force to occur. And that's what makes the moon move in a circular motion. And it's the same thing with the sun. The sun is also using that same type of force, causing all the planets to move in a circular orbit. Thank you for learning with us today. We hope you come back and learn some more. Please like and subscribe to our channel. Hit that bell button notification to know when we upload, and we will see you guys next time. Bye!